Yeah, man. It's the 3rd of April, 2022. So, I do a lot of different things to try to make money. That's a big issue with um, with targeted people, people that don't have their neuromonitoring, people that have this type of problems that we have. Um, to have a lot of money means the means to solve these type of problems, whether it's um, to be able to get lawyers and start to file different type of lawsuits, or private investigators, or to pay computer hacker type of people, um, or computer forensics people, um, just to be able to gain the type of evidence that you need and what's going on with your situation. And it's just a big problem. So we have to find ourselves in a better and better position. And that's it started for me 9 years ago. And I didn't realize that it had started at that time. But, 9 years ago, it was like I was realizing that, my stuff's hacked. And it's never been hacked before. And now all of a sudden, all my stuff's hacked. And um, everything's compromised. And then not long after that is when you start to have the artificial telepathy broadcast with people talking to you on the out loud, like, and then um, broadcast attacks where they're attacking your body physically. Like right now, like you might look across my arm and see like hair doesn't naturally get like that, right? That looks like that looks like a link, right? Some letters, because hair doesn't naturally form in those little ways like that, right? So it's like a link to somebody's broadcast, and it's like layered over me, you know. And broadcast people, they have the capabilities with filters and neural monitoring to be able to see that kind of thing, and we can't see it as humans that well. And so it's barely out of the visible light spectrum, but it's within, and it does have some particle matter and some effect. And when you're talking about the strength of the broadcast, as far as like objects, it could probably pick up a napkin, maybe wiggle a napkin or a leaf, it's broadcast. Maybe it could do a little more, but it can't do a whole lot more. It can't pick up a phone. It can't go hide your phone from you. Although I might have even fell for that myself before. Well, they got all kind of tricks, and it becomes this thing in the beginning where you have to try to, um, where you have to try to come to grips and terms with what's possible in your mind, and like how are they doing this? Like this is impossible, and it's a step of that where you have to understand how it might be possible, because they'll have you believing that it's a spiritual thing where they're able to become like an angel, a ghost out of their body or something. They have you believing all kind of stuff when it starts to happen in the beginning, because your mind you haven't experienced these type of bizarre things. Somebody that can talk to you that's not here, And I remember in public, I would be going from one place, I'd be on foot, trying to escape the Illuminati or whatever, and catching buses and trains. It didn't matter. And I'd be going up the street, and from this restaurant over here, I would start to hear them, you know. And I was thinking they can hijack any 60 hertz, like they can hijack a speaker, any speaker. They can hijack any electronic signal, you know. But it's not. That doesn't even work like that. I mean, it does, but it's like the telepathy can disperse the broadcast telepathy, which is a form of mind control, and the telepathy and receiving mind control is almost the same thing, but they can turn off the sound. You're still receiving. You're always receiving. When I started to try to record this stuff, like back, like 2015, when I started putting out recordings of artificial telepathy, and it was very hit or miss because it's very difficult to listen to them, to listen to your recordings while you're trying to hear what's in them, because you got gang stalkers right now. And is it now or is it in the recording? And they like to play that game, like pretend like they're in the recording and say the same thing over and over. But sometimes you just know, especially if you put it in a program, you got the waveforms and you can see it, and it's hard for them to fake it. But otherwise, they could be very tricky. So a lot of my early stuff was sketchy, you know. And I don't present solid evidence. I just tell you what I know. If I want, well, in the future, if it comes to that, I probably will be breaking it down scientifically with, items and devices or whatever, spectrums and waves and analyzers or whatever. I don't know what it'll come to for me to have to be able to say, hey, you got to go arrest these people that are torturing others because this is genocide. I mean, there's going to come a point where my knowledge is extensive enough to say, hey, this person at this place is doing all of this on my phone and they're running these live stream EMF broadcast stuff illegally or whatever, and they're attacking me with waves. And here's where it's all happening on this live stream that they're running on the internet and collecting all kinds of money, running your services, running their live streams, running crypto wallets or whatever else. I don't know exactly how the whole thing works with the crypto, but I know there's a lot going on, and there's some things when I learn that I'll keep to myself, and there's some things when I learn I'll tell everybody, but when it comes to people being tortured, it's probably something that I'll be telling, hey, you need to do this, and 1% of you guys will do it, and and then they'll be like, hey, guess what, and I'll already be in a boat or something like that, in a big tour bus looking thing out west somewhere going to a festival. Like, I don't have a problem in the world. But the channel will never come down. So I got several YouTube channels. This is the targeted individual channel. And this is the one that I started with. And, I think long term it probably won't be the biggest one. But this is my personal one. And it's got all the videos of my whole documentation. And so, and I've took down a lot of videos. But most of them are within the 99-cent level of the thing. And yeah, I'd like to have a little money for all of the effort that I put in, but this ain't it. This ain't, honestly, like YouTube ain't it. If I make maybe a little over 100, I'll be real with you. I'll be real with you guys. I got 7,400 videos on YouTube. I've been doing this for almost 6 years, and it's all the time. It's a whole task. And now finally I make about, 120 to maybe $175 in a whole month, So it's like $4 or $5 a day, and I get thousands of plays on thousands of videos, So I put a lot of them on membership levels. I don't want it all out there really like that. I want the best. There's a lot of good stuff, okay, in all of my videos. I'm not saying my videos are bad. I'm saying 7,500 crazy videos of Kevin Christian on the internet isn't my favorite thing to think about. It's not. So, the best 500 that can really help people the most, if you want to pay 99 cents and watch the other 5,000 crazy videos, then go ahead. But I'm really just trying to get it out of the public sector more than anything. Because a lot of stuff's crazy, man. I'm angry. They're doing stuff to me. I'm talking about stuff nobody's ever heard of. But it is all true. That's one thing I'll say. It's definitely all true. So pretty much that's the direction that I'm headed. But YouTube is if you want to put out your videos, you want to talk about being a targeted individual, it can help you a lot. You need to know what you're talking about, for one, because I've seen quite a few people that come out on videos and even writing books and everything, and they're wrong about how it really works. And I've known so many people now that are or have become gang stalkers, and then I've talked to so many targeted people, like over a couple thousand probably around the world, everywhere. And then my message box is full every day. So I do have a really solid understanding of how this works and what's going on, and the direction that we need to be moving in, really. So and that's learning about computer stuff, and crypto, and getting your business up with like investments. Even if you just work a job, if you put a little bit of investments, and start putting some money into stuff, that learning about finance, and learning about computer programming, and electromagnetics, and you have to learn a lot if you want your freedom, because this is what it's all about now, and whether you like it or not, it just is that. So that's the direction that I'm headed, and I want to get my money up and get my knowledge up to the point where there's no way that these idiots are going to be able to hold me down. And that's how you have to be. And you might have to put your passions on hold a little bit, some for a minute, just to add some of your time and learn how to manage your time. They hurt my body. And I started to realize that it becomes a race. They're going to destroy me. And if I want to have any, energy and solid life left in youth, while, before they torture me to death, maybe I get my neural monitoring and be able to live my life peacefully, free, privately, and all those things, and prosperous. They love us for a reason, and they don't want us to have it for a reason. We're valuable to them, or we're a huge threat to them, or both. So they're having a little fit. They're saying, I've talked long enough. They talk. If I think a thought, one of them got something to say, or one of them is mind blown and letting off some sort of excitement, whether it be a girl scream or whatever it is. You can feel that emotional response, because you're on mind control, because it's a two-way broadcast. Whether or not you have on the mind control headset, a lot of times they're like, this MF just mind read me for everything I was thinking about. And it's true, that when they're thinking, but they're not thinking, hey, this is how you access the neural monitoring, and I'll just mind read them. It's not like that, but if one of them has a thought and it runs through my mind, and I come to the realization that that's not my fault thought, that is one of them. And so the realization that the thought is them is the moment that you've received them and read them knowingly. Otherwise, was that my thought, or like was crazy thoughts going through my mind? And it's, there's it could be very confusing, especially in the beginning. And you come to different levels of understanding, and even though you don't like them, if it's the same people on your channel, on your neural monitoring all the time, like I have the same solid people for the years, so you become to have that connection with them. You don't have to like them, but when it's about to get nasty, when they're this or that or whatever. Okay, you know that stuff. So, but anyway, I've been having a little bit of body deterioration, or debilitation from the broadcast attacks. I believe mostly it's broadcast attacks that have me down lately a little bit. But just for the update, I'm doing my thing, and I work full time, and I'm going to school full time, and I'm doing well at both. And I just went to the golf range and hit a few balls, because my brother was wanting me to play some golf, and I don't want to be looking real stupid, so I got to tighten back up. Working on a lot of different things. I want to get back into music. I'm still into dance and spinning poi. This is who I am, And talking about gangs, talking in neural monitoring, being on this side of the do or don't have possession is defining a lot of the perimeters of my life, of what I do, and honestly, it's not all bad. I don't know that I would be just motivated to become somebody successful, or somebody that like I have to think about, like if I'm doing something, like I know that there's people that are paying attention that probably want to do the same things that I do. So, it's not only just doing what I want to do, it's doing what I think other people that want to be like me should do too at the same time. And that's, you know, when you find yourself in that public role, that becomes part of it. And when you find yourself in that father role, that becomes part of it. And when you start to realize that your actions have an influence on other people, and then it starts to shape who you are a little more. Um, not the greatest person, but I definitely don't stand for what they're doing to us, to me, to many people that don't even know. It's not a good thing that's happening on this planet with humanity, with some people having neuromonitoring and pretending like it don't exist, and the rest of everybody's supposed to be what? They're slaves, and they all just take over our devices and run stuff in the background, whether it's live streams or mining or whatever. It's just a lot of stuff going on, and we have to understand these things, and that's it. So I've talked enough. Thank you guys for watching. Um, I'll be back probably almost every day, and my name's Kevin Christian. Remote neuromonitoring. I knew about it since 2013 when I started getting hacked. About 2014 and 15, I started to dig into maybe what is remote neuromonitoring, and then I learned about gang stalking, um, and then I'm the one who started calling it EMF broadcast, because it is that. It's a broadcast, and they always said EMF, it's EMF, and it's through the electromagnetic field is the energy structure. So that's what I talk about on my channel and being targeted. And my goal is to gain access and possession of my neuromonitoring, get rid of these idiots, and help a lot of you guys. All right, so thank you for watching.